My name is Fatima Siwaju. I am a PhD student in the Department of Anthropology at Princeton University. Originally, I was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm currently a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. On November 19th, I was flying from Colombia to Orlando, Florida to visit my sister and her family for Thanksgiving. It was like a routine flight like any other flight. So I made my way to the line for foreigners. And before I could enter the line, there was a federal agent there waiting, and she instructed the person who was ushering people into the line to stop me.
I called her, text, WhatsApp, I got to the exit, she wasn't there. And I just knew that, okay, she's detained.
She asked for my phone, which I obliged. I have nothing to hide. She was like, this is part of a routine inspection. We're going to ask you a few questions. We're going to inspect your phone. I was beckoned into the questioning room, and there was another officer there who kind of carried out the questioning, and it was more or less centered around my research, my travels, my religious identity. I was asked which madhab would be more prone to violence. Questions I really couldn't answer, because from a Muslim perspective, these questions don't really make much sense. So that questioning went on maybe for about an hour and a half.
When she wasn't there on time, we realized, okay, well, she must be, delayed. They're asking her some questions, but we were thinking at some point she was going to be released.
I think I started to get a better picture once I spoke to the analyst who inspected my phone, and they said they had found some messages on my phone that they thought were of concern. I'm a member of a WhatsApp group for Princeton PhD students, and one of the students in that WhatsApp group shared a screenshot of a conversation she was having with someone else. So this is an external conversation that's not even part of the WhatsApp group. The message of concern was not shared by someone who was Muslim. In fact, I'm the only Muslim in that WhatsApp group. It's just basically a group for students to talk about the university. Supervisor comes back around half an hour and says, the director has decided that you not be admitted into the United States today. Told at that point that I would be barred entry for 5 years. At 8:30, they called my sister to tell her I was going to be sent back to Trinidad.
What do we do? What next? We mentioned, maybe we should contact CARE.
Yeah.
We say maybe
and I was already familiar with the name Hassan Shibli.
I called CARE, the Orlando office. It was already closed. And I was like, okay, I knew a friend who was well connected, well networked. So I called her, who put me on to someone that contacted Hassan Shibli. While we are listening to
in the meantime,
his videos,
we're watching the video, watching the video, looking at the points, okay, what to do, and then phone rings. It's Hassan Shibli.
Right away, we called leadership within CBP and brought to their attention that, listen, you have in your custody a Muslim woman who wears a hijab, who is a PhD candidate at one of the best schools in this country, at Princeton, who's obviously an asset to this country, to this community, and to this world.
Yes.
Who's someone that should be shown nothing but respect, and who's a representative of our community.
Yes.
And if you target her, if you harass her, you're essentially targeting our entire community, because she's the best of what our community has to offer. So an attack on our sister Fatima is an attack on all of us, and we will take it as such.
9 o'clock, I went to do the evening prayer. When I came out, she said, well, I have some news. The supervisor just called to say you're good to go. And I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, well, we're going to admit you entry into the United States. At this point, all the paperwork had already gone through. They had fingerprinted me, assigned me an alien number, and already canceled my visa. So I'm totally confused, because she's saying now the supervisor is calling to say the decision has been revoked. I spoke to the supervisor, and he was like, you know what? I am a devout Christian, but after your experience, I think I'm going to become a Muslim. He was like, you literally left to pray, and then we get this call from the director saying, admit her. Does this happen very often? So the agent I'm speaking to, she's like, no, this doesn't.
We're just happy.
Well, especially, it's like Sarah and Miriam, her nieces are very attached to her. So she was definitely very excited to see her aunt there, you know, the next time she woke up in the morning and see her, you know. So that means everything for her.
Every time I'm playing with my nieces, every time we're laughing, because we talk like too much. We talk all the time, like the whole day. I'm just thinking, I'm just so grateful, firstly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything, and obviously to Care and their amazing team. So every day I'm here, I am infinitely grateful